What happens when you gather a couple legendary game developers and a rockstar composer? You get a game written by Suda51, produced by Shinji Mikami, and composed by Akira Yamaoka, and later helmed by Massimo Guarini, I hope I didn't butcher that, as the director. And that game becomes Shadows of the Damned. The game follows Garcia Hotspur, a Mexican demon hunter, who goes to the city of the damned to battle its evils in order to save his girlfriend Paula, who is captured by the Lord of Demons, Fleming. You enter a Eastern European looking town that wouldn't be out of place in Resident Evil or The Evil Within. Shadows of the Damned and The Evil Within actually share a few elements here and there. You can really see and feel the influence of Shinji Mikami throughout your descent into hell. The vibrant and flashy style of Suda51 shines through the art style, and it's impossible to miss how highlighted the characters and environments are. So much so, I feel it could be a quick turnoff for many and potentially cause a seizure. I mean, it's seriously very intense on the eyes. Outside of that, Shadows of the Damned offers up a charm and nonsensical tone that ignites the immature kid in all of us. Dick jokes aplenty. It's probably the only game other than Bulletstorm or Deadpool that goes quite this far with the absurdity of its humor. It'll either have you laughing your ass off or cringing so hard that you question your life choices up to this point. The first boss-like enemy of the game is insanely similar to the Guardian that stalks you in the streets of Union in The Evil Within 2. Has the same kind of saw-like weapon and the charging at you. It's very, very similar. The game offers up a tense horror atmosphere from the beginning all the way to the end. A banging soundtrack and tons of fun bosses. The first real boss is the human form of George Reed. From that point onwards, they continue to ramp up in scale and absurdity. Shadows of the Damned opens with a one-liner and an ominous rock score, followed by the start of Suda51's Mario and Peach story.
The bullet train is here, hell monkey.
As if you mortals can be saved with one little squeeze.
Garcia is on a mission to save Paula, his recent love interest. A fun fact about Shadows of the Damned, before we keep digging into this red gem of a game, it was originally titled Koryami, which means darkness, but was later renamed. We would see Koryami again in the DLC for The Evil Within, which served as the hardest difficulty setting and would make the entire game fully dark, where you really relied on your flashlight. So probably a small nod from Tango, or maybe just a coincidence. Or was Mikami just fully ripping off Suda? We'll never know. That's enough fooling around, so let's shove a blue gem into our Johnson and get on with the show.
Nice rock. Shove it into my face, G. Trust me, it doesn't mean we're engaged or anything.
Might be a tight fit, but okay.
Most of the information used in this video about the development of Shadows will be largely from Hikikomori Media and their fantastic documentary on the game. I'll leave a link to the documentary in the description, as well as there should be one pop up on the screen as well. Gotta give credit where credit is due. Shadows of the Damned had a rough development, to say the least. Between a lack of focus and EA being hard to work with, who would have guessed that, Suda51 had to rewrite the game multiple times, and the final product became a shell of the original vision. Shinji Mikami was in a producer role and really only overseen development. Massimo eventually would be brought in to finish and restructure the eventual final game that we would see launch in 2011. It's as much, if not more, of a Massimo ride as it is a Suda51 trip, if you catch my drift. For the aforementioned reasons, Shadows is probably the least Suda game in his entire catalog of titles. Of course, goat heads, babyface doors, shadow hands, and a Swiss Army knife of a skull companion, Johnson, who changes into 3 weapons and a torch, and I guess a single-shot rail rifle for a turret section, really feel like something Suda-like. And it'll have you hopping through posters between a woman's legs and walking across your girlfriend's body to reach a portal. It's wild, and it's weird. It's out there beyond many games you'll ever play. It's an odd love letter to Resident Evil 4, unintentionally, I think. It's also a huge love letter to classic horror films, in part due to Massimo and his direction of the project. There's an entire section that uses the Evil Dead cabin and eventually leads into a location that is near identical to the starting village in Resident Evil 4. It has lots of unique locations and imagery of its own. Think the more grotesque design of Dante's Inferno or Splatterhouse and you'll be on the right track. Shadows of the Damned is a buggy yet solid third-person action horror experience. The gunplay feels solid enough and more than unique enough to stand out. You'll be dodge rolling and quick time event mashing your way around. I actually realized in my more recent playthrough of the hella remastered version that I never really used the brutal kills. This game's version of gory kills or finishing moves akin to RE4 when you stun an enemy. It really helped thin out the hordes of enemies at times. The game offers up a pretty simple upgrade system where you collect red gems to upgrade your health, individual weapon stats, etc. You unlock blue gems from major bosses, and they unlock and upgrade your weapons to new forms. All these upgrades and forms are taken advantage of with subsequent bosses and encounters, which is honestly pretty nice, and it adds that bit of variety when it comes to the puzzles and challenges and how boss fights are structured. To highlight another Resident Evil 4 trope, the game offers you opportunities to interact with the southern United States-inspired demon Christopher. He offers ammo, healing items, and red gems for purchase using white gems.
Well, howdy-ho! Name's Christopher. Now, don't y'all be afraid. I ain't gonna bite. Trust me. You see, I'm what you call a mixture of beast and human. Oh, best of both worlds, my pappy said. But what are you doing around these parts? Ain't you immortal?
Why should I tell you? All I see is demon.
Well, shucks. You gotta look underneath the leathery exterior. Deep down, I am a sensitive and understanding listener.
Some asswipe named Fleming stole my girl and took her to his castle. I am here to take her back.
Meaning you are on a quest to kick the Prince of Evil's ass? Holy shit! Oh, I want in on some of this action. How can I help, huh? How can I?
Christopher is by far one of my favorite characters in the game, and he always makes me laugh and smile every time you encounter him. You can also take your white gems and use them at vending machines where you pay for a variety of alcoholic beverages to use as healing items. The game can offer up a bit of challenge here and there, and the bosses are satisfying to fight, only aided by Garcia's pre-boss fight monologue that had me thinking about the Princess Bride every single time.
Before you die, demon scum, I will carve my name in your flesh. That name is Garcia fucking Hotspur, hunter of demons and slayer of pendejos like you!
There's actually something else that really makes the game feel like a Suda51 project. The addition of really the only time in the game other than a few sections where you use your shotgun-like weapon to do these pachinko machine and bowling-like minigames. But outside of that, there's a few sections leading up to a boss fight that all happen in this 2D shoot-'em-up style. Something that's very reminiscent to what Suda does in most of his games, where he has all these mini-games and like different types of games that are mixed into it. And those are actually some of my favorite sections of the game because they're just so unique and different, and they offer up a challenge of their own. I'm not going to say that the game can't be frustrating, because it definitely can. The sections where you have to run from Paula can be absolutely infuriating at times. It's like avoiding Ruvik in the mansion from The Evil Within, except he's running at full speed. Not my favorite sections, but I can blast through this game like nobody's business these days. Speaking of, Shadows isn't a very long game. It's around 6 to 8 hours, which can vary from person to person. I personally think that's fine. It's actually a good thing. Most people don't have enough time to play through a majority of video games anyway. The amount of people who even finish 90% of video games that release is insanely low. So a short, quick, fun experience is great, especially if it has replayability. And speaking of replayability, the remaster now offers New Game Plus and added costumes to the game. You can unlock a costume from beating the game that gives you a top hat, and you look very gothic, almost like a Bloodborne kind of skin. And you have 3 others from the start. You can play as Shirtless Garcia from the prologue, Demon Garcia, which is this costume that was taken from a cut Devil Trigger-like form, and is also the only costume that actually offers a bonus, I guess in reference to this, which is double damage. And lastly, the 8 Hearts skin, which is directly from Travis Strikes Again. Kind of a full circle sort of moment from what I've seen of the sections that include Johnson and Garcia in that game. Because Shadows of the Damned is the only Suda51 game that I have ever played. So I don't have a lot to compare it to when it comes to his works. The Mario and Peach story told here is a disjointed one, and one where the weight is removed by the constant and incessant use of Paula dying over and over throughout the game. They constantly use this, oh my gosh, I finally got her back, and then she's dead. Oh, I finally got her back, and she's dead. Though, this constant use of her death does introduce us to one of my favorite characters, which is what I'm going to dub, the fuck you demon.
Out of my way! This one's mine. The one I loved was taken away by this fiend.
The narrative weight and focus is lost very early on. It still goes to show that if you're willing to fight for something, especially love, you can push through just about anything. It's a tale of a man fighting his way through hell to save his girlfriend, who just so happens to be Fleming's mistress. And it all ends the way it started. An eternal loop of insanity. As you know by the time you watch this video dropped on Friday the 13th, so go show some love for our cheesy boy, Jason. And happy Valentine's Day on the 14th. A dead man named Romeo will be up for discussion in the future, and until then, keep fighting the good fight, and show those who matter most to you how much you love them. Life is fleeting, and love is only as powerful as your willingness to keep it alive. Tell them you love them, and give them a hug. Be yourself and try your best. None of us are perfect, but we all have a bit of Garcia Hotspur in our heart. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd like to thank Midnight Medium, Osh, Melancholy Geek, and John David for the love and support. If you want to join the Cult of the Forge and become a cultist yourself, hop on over to Patreon and throw me $1 or join for free. This is a community after all, and we're all family here. Thank you all, and as always, the Forge is calling, and I must answer. So I'll see you all when the next video has been forged. Good night, and good luck.
Mexico will have to wait.
Dreaming of a demon town. Motherfucker, bitch, fuck, shit went down. Fleming's got an itch, scratch it with a bitch. Demon keeps dreaming of a demon town. Ooh, Johnson, that's my name. Big...